Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A book prepared for use in schools or colleges. His economics textbook is in its 10th edition. The words of something written. There were more than 1,000 words of text. A passage from the Bible that is used as the subject of a sermon. The preacher chose a text from Psalms to introduce his sermon. The main body of a written work, as distinct from illustrations or footnotes, etc. Pictures made the text easier to understand. A book prepared for use in schools or colleges. A book prepared for use in schools or colleges. A book prepared for use in schools or colleges. According to or characteristic of a casebook or textbook. Typical. A textbook example. A book prepared for use in schools or colleges. His economics textbook is in its 10th edition. The words of something written. Physical objects consisting of a number of pages bound together. He used a large book as a doorstop. A record in which commercial accounts are recorded. They got a subpoena to examine our books. The sacred writings of Islam revealed by God to the Prophet Muhammad during his life at Mecca and Medina. A compilation of the known facts regarding something or someone. His name is in all the record books. A written version of a play or other dramatic composition, used in preparing for a performance. The sacred writings of the Christian religions. A collection of rules or prescribed standards on the basis of which decisions are made. They run things by the book around here. Arrange for and reserve something for someone else in advance. The agent booked tickets to the show for the whole family. A collection of playing cards satisfying the rules of a card game. A major division of a long written composition. The Book of Isaiah. A number of sheets, ticket or stamps, etc., bound together on one edge. He bought a book of stamps. A written work or composition that has been published, printed on pages bound together. I am reading a good book on economics. Engage for a performance. Her agent had booked her for several concerts in Tokyo. Record a charge in a police register. The policeman booked her when she tried to solicit a man. Register in a hotel booker. A vaguely specified concern. Several matters to attend to. Have weight. Have import, carry weight. It does not matter much. Some situation or event that is thought about. It is a matter for the police. A problem. Is anything the matter? That which has mass and occupies space. Physicists study both the nature of matter and the forces which govern it. Used with negation, having consequence. They were friends and it was no matter who won the games. Written works, especially in books or magazines. He always took some reading matter with him on the plane. The passing of a law by a legislative body. A bodily reaction of changing from one place or stage to another. The passage of air from the lungs. The act of passing from one state or place to the next. A journey usually by ship. The outward passage took 10 days. A short section of a musical composition. The motion of one object relative to another. A path or channel or duct through or along which something may pass. The nasal passages. The act of passing something to another person. A section of text, particularly a section of medium length. A way through or along which someone or something may pass. Someone who reads proof in order to find errors and mark corrections. Someone who reads manuscripts and judges their suitability for publication. Someone who reads the lessons in a church service. Someone ordained in a minor order of the Roman Catholic Church. A public lecturer at certain universities. Someone who contracts to receive and pay for a service or a certain number of issues of a publication. A person who can read. A literate person. A person who enjoys reading. One of a series of texts for students learning to read. Any igniter that is used to initiate the burning of a propellant. The first or preliminary coat of paint or size applied to a surface. An introductory textbook. A special school where students are crammed. A student who crams. A teacher who is paid to cram students for examinations. A textbook designed for cramming. Formally making a person known to another or to the public. The act of beginning something new. The act of starting something for the first time, introducing something new. The act of putting one thing into another. A basic or elementary instructional text. A new proposal. They resisted the introduction of impractical alternatives. The first section of a communication. A part of a broadcast serial. The act of installing something, as equipment. A part of a published serial. A payment of part of a debt, usually paid at regular intervals. A part of a broadcast serial. The act of installing something, as equipment. A part of a published serial. Any of the various versions in the development of a written work. A written message addressed to a person or organization. A large and hurried swallow. The act of moving a load by drawing or pulling. A preliminary sketch of a design or picture. Compulsory military service. A serving of drink, usually alcoholic, drawn from a keg. They served beer on draft. A dose of liquid medicine. He took a sleeping draught. Draw up an outline or sketch for something. Draft a speech. A document ordering the payment of money, drawn by one person or bank on another. Engage somebody to enter the army. Any of the various versions in the development of a written work. A preliminary draft. Make a blueprint of. The depth of a vessel's keel below the surface, especially when loaded. A current of air, usually coming into a chimney or room or vehicle. A regulator for controlling the flow of air in a fireplace. A reproduction of a written record, e.g. of a legal or school record. Matter to be printed, exclusive of graphical materials. Reproduce or make an exact copy of. Copy the genetic information. Make a replica of. Copy that drawing. Reproduce someone's behavior or looks. Children often copy their parents or older siblings. A thing made to be similar or identical to another thing. She made a copy of the designer dress. Copy down as is. The students were made to copy the alphabet over and over. Material suitable for a journalistic account. Catastrophes make good copy. The cook on a ranch or at a camp. Any of various small flat sweet cakes, biscuit, is the British term. A short line of text that a website puts on your computer's hard drive when you access the website. An article giving opinions or perspectives. Anything that approximates the shape of a column or tower. The test tube held a column of white powder. A vertical cylindrical structure standing alone and not supporting anything, such as a monument. A vertical glass tube used in column chromatography. A mixture is poured in the top and washed through a stationary substance where components of the mixture are adsorbed selectively to form colored bands. Architecture. A tall vertical cylindrical structure standing upright and used to support a structure. A line of units following one after another. Any tubular or pillar-like supporting structure in the body. A page or text that is vertically divided. The newspaper devoted several columns to the subject. A vertical array of numbers or other information. He added a column of numbers. A fixed number of lines of verse forming a unit of a poem. An angry dispute. They had words. Words making up the dialogue of a play. The text of a popular song or musical comedy number. He wrote both words and music. Language that is spoken or written. He has a gift for words. The words that are spoken. I listened to his words very closely. Matter to be printed. Exclusive of graphical materials. A systematic means of communicating by the use of sounds or conventional symbols. He taught foreign languages. Language, communication by word of mouth. He uttered harsh language. A system of words used to name things in a particular discipline. The language of sociology. The mental faculty or power of vocal communication. Language sets Homo sapiens apart from all other animals. The cognitive processes involved in producing and understanding linguistic communication. He didn't have the language to express his feelings. The text of a popular song or musical comedy number. The song uses colloquial language. The conventional characters of the alphabet used to represent speech. His grandmother taught him his letters. An award earned by participation in a school sport. He won letters in 3 sports. A written message addressed to a person or organization. Mailed an indignant letter to the editor. A strictly literal interpretation, as distinct from the intention. He followed instructions to the letter. Mark letters on or mark with letters. Owner who lets another person use something, housing usually for hire. Set down or print with letters. Win an athletic letter. A course of reasoning aimed at demonstrating a truth or falsehood. The methodical process of logical reasoning. I can't follow your line of reasoning. A slight depression or fold in the smoothness of a surface. His face has many lines. Mechanical system in a factory whereby an article is conveyed through sites at which successive operations are performed on it. A connected series of events or actions or developments. Historians can only point out those lines for which evidence is available. The road consisting of railroad track and roadbed. A conceptual separation or distinction. There is a narrow line between sanity and insanity. A succession of notes forming a distinctive sequence. A conductor for transmitting electrical or optical signals or electric power. The principal activity in your life that you do to earn money. He's not in my line of business. Make a mark or lines on a surface. Draw a line. Often plural, a means of communication or access. Lines of communication were set up between the two firms. The descendants of one individual. His entire lineage has been warriors. Space for one line of print, 1 column wide and 1/14 inch deep, used to measure advertising. A short personal letter. Drop me a line when you get there. A telephone connection. Be in line with, form a line along. Trees line the riverbank. The maximum credit that a customer is allowed. A particular kind of product or merchandise. A nice line of shoes. A pipe used to transport liquids or gases. A pipeline runs from the wells to the seaport. A commercial organization serving as a common carrier. Acting in conformity. In line with. A formation of people or things one behind another. The line stretched clear around the corner. A formation of people or things one beside another. The line of soldiers advanced with their bayonets fixed. A fortified position, especially one marking the most forward position of troops. They attacked the enemy's line. A length, straight or curved, without breadth or thickness, the trace of a moving point. A mark that is long relative to its width. He drew a line on the chart. A single frequency, or very narrow band, of radiation in a spectrum. A spatial location defined by a real or imaginary unidimensional extent. Cover the interior of. Line the gloves. Fill plentifully. Line one's pockets. In games or sports, a mark indicating positions or bounds of the playing area. Mark with lines. Sorrow had lined his face. Persuasive but insincere talk that is usually intended to deceive or impress. Let me show you my etchings as a rather worn line. Reinforce with fabric. Lined books are more enduring. Something, as a cord or rope, that is long and thin and flexible. A washing line. Text consisting of a row of words written across a page or computer screen. The letter consisted of 3 short lines. A text that excludes a particular letter or particular letters of the alphabet. Expressing deep emotion. The dancer's lyrical performance. A short poem of song-like quality. The text of a popular song or musical comedy number. His compositions always started with the lyrics of or relating to a category of poetry that expresses emotion, often in a song-like way. Lyric poetry. Relating to or being musical drama. The lyric stage. Used of a singer or singing voice that is light in volume and modest in range. A lyric soprano. Write lyrics for a song. Text that is in a form that computer can store or display on a computer screen. The business of issuing printed matter for sale or distribution. The act of issuing printed materials. A copy of a printed work offered for distribution. The communication of something to the public, making information generally known.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.